hashtag Oscars so white. It's trending all over Twitter. A number of celebrities have spoken out. So
so I guess Jada Pinkett Smith and Spike Lee have already said that they're not going to be attending the Oscar ceremonies this year.
Yep.
Because of the lack of black nominees, and there's been a bunch of really great performances by African American people and black people in some of the films this year. So people are kind of wondering what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Idris Elba for Beast of No Nation was not nominated. Like there was a number of snubs. I think last year there was like less movies out. I guess with African American actors, less nominees.
Will Smith and
Will
the
Smith
new
and
Concussion
Concussion
film, which
movie,
I heard
He
did
could have
an
been
amazing
nominated too. He was
performance.
nominated for Golden Globe.
Yeah.
The gentleman who played Eazy-E or Eric Wright in the Straight Outta Compton
Straight Outta Compton
movie,
getting a snub was huge.
really, really, really good. I mean, there was a number of great performances in that movie. It was a lot better than I thought it was going to be, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And, all snubs there.
Yeah, and I mean, so, Kyle, what do you think? Anything on it?
It's kind of the same thing that's in news right now. And especially with having like a black host to the thing. Like, is it just an old boys club who behind the scenes say, let's have a black host to be like, hey, we're not racist. But I don't know. I mean, you're not really seeing as many nominations as I think you could have of black people, but.
And I think it's weird. I think there's a divide too, because like the president of BET Entertainment came out and like kind of like addressed rules of what should happen for the nominations going forward. And basically, one of the things you have to look at is the agencies. So like, there's big agencies in Hollywood that basically greenlight all these films and then have control over like casting and all that sort of stuff. So they control like 70% of the films that get made. So with those big agencies, they're not going to change. They're going to cast who they want. So I think that's kind of where it's coming from. For myself personally, like my original thought is like, what's the big deal? Like, why are we fighting over an Oscar? Like, who cares about an Oscar nomination? Like, there's so many more important things.
Sure.
And actually, there's a video that went viral from Aunt Viv. I don't know if you guys heard about it. Aunt Viv from Fresh Prince.
Which Aunt Viv?
Oh, the original Aunt Viv.
The original.
Last name was Brown. Janet Hubert Brown, I think.
Okay.
The original Aunt Viv that basically called out Jada Pinkett and was like, look, black actresses, black actors, people are worried about paying their bills. People are worried about like what's going on across the U.S. with police brutality. Nobody cares that you didn't get nominated for an Oscar. It's not a big deal. Yeah. So she came out with that. And then the flip side to that, which is why I kind of thought maybe it does have merit, is the fact that it is symbolism. Because like we don't see the people that are struggling day to day. We don't see...
It's representative of a bigger
Exactly. It's a symbolism of a bigger issue, right? Yeah. Like, you're not going to see those people. You see these people. And so if these people are having an issue, they can shed light on maybe something. So the symbolism kind of does hold weight, in my opinion. So I guess I guess it comes to breaking down doors and addressing like old agencies in Hollywood that make these antiquated decisions, I guess.
And it is the people who vote as well. I mean, like the people who vote for the Oscars, who vote who makes the nominations, are predominantly older white males or older Caucasian males. Yeah. And hey, if it's going to be made of mostly that, then hey, it's going to be representative that way too, right?
Yeah. And there was a movie actually, I heard this actually, it was done on Q, the pop culture panel with Shad. They were talking about like the Oscar snubs and this movie Tangerine, which is like, it's a rom-com about two black transgendered people that's shot on an iPhone. And like really, it looks amazing, like really good movie. And so it's like, that's the future of filmmaking, is like that, and then they're missing out. They're not getting on board with the future of filmmaking. Like I think the most movie going demographic in the States is young Latino people, and so it's like you're not really representing these people in the films you're seeing. So, but yeah, like with that rundown, we'll move on to the nominees and to what actually did go. So for Best Picture, it's a lot of movies that we haven't seen. So we got The Big Short, Bridge of Spies, Brooklyn, Mad Max, Fury Road, The Martian, The Revenant, and Room, which I hadn't heard of, and Spotlight. So leading the way, The Revenant, Leo DiCaprio, big budget, Alejandro
Inarritu. It's Alejandro Inarritu.
Alejandro Inarritu.
He was the winner last year for Birdman.
Yeah. Yeah, amazing, and
amazing director.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Actually, the first film I saw of him was Amores Perros. I can't remember exactly how it's worded, but He's terrific. Yeah, one of the greatest directors there are out there.
Yeah, he's really stormed onto the scene.
Yeah, I haven't seen The Revenant yet, but Kyle, you went and saw it
Amazing.
yesterday.
It was beautiful. Yeah, I saw it yesterday. It was like, it was one of those movies where, you know, setting DiCaprio aside and whether or not he's going to get the best lead for that movie, it was just beautifully shot. Every shot in that movie just had me like all in. Like I was just
And
captivated.
I heard it was all natural light that they shot in too. They didn't use any lights whatsoever, which is almost unheard of in today's big budget filmmaking for sure.
In any condition, whatever condition they were in, they were shooting. Tom Hardy and Leo talked about that in an interview. Some days the snow was melting, so they had to deal with that, and then the next day it'd be like -40 with like blizzard. So it's crazy.
Yeah, so they actually lead the way. They've got 12 nominations. Next up is Mad Max Fury Road with 10 nominations, which was a bit of surprise for me for Mad Max. Yeah, we all see Mad Max?
I love Mad Max.
Yeah, possibly one of my films of the year for
Yeah, I
sure.
think so,
It
too.
was just, it was like basically being on hardcore meth for an hour and a half,
What is that roller coaster?
which I'm a
but okay.
huge fan of for sure.
That guitar player?
Yeah.
Guitar
Yeah.
player guy?
Yeah,
Everything about
that guy
it
should be
was
in Best
fantastic. And it was stripped down, it was raw, it didn't need the dialogue, it told the story through visual representation. It was a great feminist film, which is really cool for
Yeah.
that sort of a film. And just the set pieces were out of this world.
Un-
Giant
unreal.
cars.
Yeah. Like people like swing off these giant poles to
Yeah.
scoop out the
Oh my
brides.
gosh.
Like that was unreal.
Yeah.
That was my number one, like in the movie theater movie of the year, probably of the past like 5 years.
That would have been a good
It
one to
was
see in
incredible.
theaters.
It was-
I didn't see it in theaters.
We saw it in theaters, but not only did we see it in theaters, we saw it in the D box with the seats
Nice.
that moved.
Oh,
and
that's
so,
amazing.
So the
That's
swinging each and every time, it was like a roller coaster ride. Like I watched it with this big, dumb, goofy grin the whole time.
Awesome. Yeah.
I
so
saw Spotlight a couple of days ago or a week or two ago. That was fantastic. And I mean, as a journalism student who's learning the craft of journalism, this is a movie that really brought everything that we've learned all together in a terrific way. If you crack up on me, I swear.
I'm sorry, I just want to shed some light on Ronan doesn't know the difference between couple days and a week or two. I don't know. He doesn't really. It may be the meth. I don't know.
You're right. It was the math for sure. But really terrific cast, great writing, and it really shows all the kind of drudgery that goes into a big investigative piece. It's it's about the.
It didn't just take it
the
down
big,
to like a 10-minute
priest-
montage because they
Exactly.
like to do that.
No, it didn't. It really delved right into the nitty gritty that goes into doing a hardcore undercover, well, not an undercover, but an investigative piece.
Yeah.
And going to a source, the source lying to you, going to somebody else, learning something else, then going back to the original source that lied to you and saying, "Hey, this is the information I have. You tell me the truth now." That's really, really cool stuff.
sounds really hard. I don't know how we're gonna be able to
no.
complete.
None
any
of us
that.
at this table are going to be doing any really great investigative journalism. That's
I'm
for
gonna
sure.
write that off.
Yeah.
We can analyze movies about it. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
There's a lot of Mark Ruffalo showing up to the office on 7 a.m. on a Sunday. I don't see
That we can
anyone
do.
here doing it. Unless it's to keep the party going at 7 a.m. on Sunday.
That may happen. So yeah, Spotlight is actually up there with 6 nominations. So yeah, just to recap, Revenant has 12, Mad Max has 10, Spotlight has 6, The Martian actually has 8 with Matt Damon. I saw that in theaters. I was a little, I guess, underwhelmed by it. I mean, it's cool. There's a lot of science. I mean, for me, I like a lot of character development, and that really is a big thing when I'm watching movies. Visually, it was okay. I didn't think it was visually stunning either. I mean, the science is cool, but beyond that, that movie didn't really do it for me. I
How was
didn't really see-
Damon in the leading role in it?
It was okay.
He was
I mean,
good.
like I said,
He was
for
funny.
me, I didn't like. I thought it was like there's no development of a character. He's just a guy who's cool about everything.
Yeah.
Like when everything failed, he was just cool, made a couple jokes, and okay, I'm gonna harvest the field. I don't know. It
Also
didn't
on
for
that
me.
note, I feel like they snaked that Golden Globe with that whole
The comedy?
comedy thing.
Yeah.
They best
Yeah, they put
best movie in as a comedy.
Yeah.
They just snaked that. I wouldn't say it was a comedy.
It was definitely not a comedy.
He was funny to listen to sometimes.
Yeah.
He had some funny parts, but other than that,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say.
I'd liken it to like the Star Wars like kind of comedy where it's like a little bit of that like dry humor here and there.
Yeah.
But it's not a comedy by any stretch.
Personally, is anyone just sick of movies that have to rescue Matt Damon? Like, just leave the guy. Just leave him. Interstellar.
Wait,
Now
was
this.
it?
He was unstuck on 2
Interstellar?
Yeah,
planets.
he was.
Interstellar was
Yeah,
Pat.
that's right, yeah.
I don't have
He
another
wasn't
Oscar
leading. He
Met
wasn't
up
leading
here.
role, but
Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, Saving Private. Like, just leave the guy. I mean, whatever.
I think
What-
Matt
what
Damon's
big-
good.
I don't think he's good enough to have the resources put into rescuing him on every movie.
I think
say
as a
leave
stand-up bit, this gets a huge cheers.
Just leave the guy. What is he giving to us? I mean, he's fine.
Okay, on that note,
Yeah.
do you think this is the year for Leo?
I think it will be the year for Leo, but I don't think he's deserving of it, and I'll tell you
Okay.
why.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
I feel like it's been enough time that he's going to get it simply because it's been so much time.
Yeah.
And the whole buzz around the like 50% of the buzz around the Oscars is will
this
he
Leo's-
or won't he
yeah.
get it, and he will get it. But watching The Revenant, which was a beautiful, very well done, amazing movie, he had like 20 words in the movie.
didn't say
There was
anything.
zero dialogue. It was consistently over and over him falling down and getting hurt and crawling his way out, which is great. And there's acting in that. It was a lot of body. But was
Did
it enough?
endure harsh conditions.
He did. But I mean, in the end,
What, that
it's
point?
coming down to the acting. And
Was it believable?
yeah, but I mean, I feel like other actors could have done it. I mean, we had this discussion beforehand, and Tom Hardy went through maybe not as much, but a considerable amount. I mean, he spends the whole movie. He was like, scalped his head, and
Yeah, they were
It
both
will-
in the same position.
and
Spoiler.
he. Well, I mean, you know,
Ruin it.
yeah, you ruined a whole season of the show. I mean,
Yeah, you did ruin it for him, actually.
yeah, nice. I mean, I think Tom Hardy is totally deserving of an Oscar in his position, but DiCaprio's going to get it, I think, and I don't think it's 100% worthy. His
Yeah,
performance.
I mean, I'm kind of split on the whole DiCaprio train. Like, some great films, some kind of okay films where he's kind of plays the character, like kind of the same character a little bit. But yeah, like most of it is he gonna do it this year? Yeah, I think it's already written. Like it's just
I'm gonna go with a dark horse.
who's that?
I'm gonna say Bryan Cranston wins for Trumbo.
No.
For what?
I never saw it, but
you saw it right here. This guy.
Are you just picking names?
No, Bryan Cranston for Trumbo is gonna win.
What's Trumbo? You seen it?
Trumbo didn't get a huge buzz, though. Like, I mean, people knew of it, but people
That's
didn't
fine.
really...
It doesn't need a big buzz.
I guess you're right. Yeah, maybe you're
I
right.
think Cranston's a great actor.
Yeah, he is.
I haven't seen the film, but I got faith in him as a great actor. So
Yeah.
yeah,
for that?
it's a possibility for sure.
Actually, if we're going with dark horses, I'm gonna go actress in a leading role, Brie Larson.
Yeah.
Short Term 12. Have you seen
No,
it?
The Room is Brie Larson.
Is it?
Yeah,
Well,
Yeah.
I'm way off.
That's the one where they're stuck in, like, a
Oh,
cellar.
are you
her
saying
and her
that
son.
she's in a different?
She's in.
Yeah.
know her from a different movie.
You know
actress
from
in-
Short
yeah.
Term 12.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've heard The Room is fantastic though, and she is probably one of the top runners for that movie. I don't know. Yeah, I don't really know. I haven't seen it, but I heard she is fantastic for sure.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So, where do we land on Matt Damon? I guess Martian. It's kind of good.
kinda tore him
He
apart a
hates
bit.
him, I don't
Yeah,
know.
I want to
Alright.
strand him on a planet.
Another movie we had that got, I guess, 5 nominations was The Big Short, which I haven't seen yet, but I heard it was good. Have you guys seen it?
I
Yeah.
never saw it.
I think
Yeah.
it will, I
It's
think
a
it will win.
terrific film.
I think it will win best adaptation.
Are you just throwing that out there?
No, he knows what he's talking
Have
about.
you seen it?
No, but I've read the story.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, it was
I think-
really cool. It's one of those films that really puts the big crash into really good perspective. Makes it very understandable and makes you feel angry while you're watching it. You're like, it's a film that just shows the douchebaggery that went into what happened for many years leading up to that big crash. Basically, a bunch of douchebags screwed over the entire world economy, and we're basically bailed out of it.
Yeah.
So it's but it's a terrific film,
Yeah.
amazing cast. Steve Carell is fantastic in it. Christian Bale is incredible in it.
He's up for a supporting role.
Yeah, it's it's a wonderful film. You guys would all love it for sure. And it's actually by the director of Anchorman, which is kind of crazy too.
That is weird.
Yeah, Adam McKay directed it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah,
Interesting.
and did a marvelous job. Really,
Yeah.
really good.
I remember, Carell was actually talking about that on some late night shows, how about like the direction that McKay that he gave him.
Yeah.
Because like he was the one who would like tell him to ad lib in like Anchorman and stuff, and then now he's like, explain the financial crisis in 3 words, go, and like giving him like little directions.
Yeah.
And so I guess he made the transition really well,
And
which
you
is
know
pretty
it's
neat.
cool what Carell does in it too, man. Like Carell, these last couple of years, that wrestling film he had with Channing Tatum.
I've
where
been
he
meaning
played
to
a
see it.
super
I haven't
dark
checked
role.
out his
Plays
serious
a
roles,
super
but
dark
I hear he
role
does
in
it
that.
well.
And then in this, he plays like a very angry man as well, and does a fantastic job of it. So you can't really typecast Carell anymore. Carell's going to be doing some interesting stuff over the next couple of years.
I've always liked
Nice.
him.
Would
Yeah.
watch. Yeah, a big fan
Great.
of Carell. It was funny. There's just complete sidebar, but Carell went back to the Colbert Show when Colbert had his show, and they were just it turned into like a diss fest, and Colbert and Carell's like, yeah, you got this like little cable talk show on cable, and then Colbert's like, there's more people in this audience than watch Dan. What's that movie?
Dan in Real Life. Oh, yeah.
I just dissed them. Anyways, sidebar. That was funny.
Yeah.
We'll move on.
Dan in Real Life.
Last movie that I think any of us have seen is Star Wars with 5 nominations. This could be cause for some heated debate. I know there's some differentiating opinions
Back and
on
forth,
sides
really.
of the table. Guess I'll start. Star Wars, A New Hope. Oh, I mean, A Force Awakens.
I like what you did there.
Wow.
So,
That's a sloppy dab.
No, it was not sloppy.
That's what it looked
Very
like from over
purposeful.
here.
yeah.
It looked like you just stumbled and then like tried to do a dab at the end of it to save the
Yeah,
stumble.
you know what?
Critique
That
on the
movie-
dab. We'll let you decide at home.
That movie
On the-
stumbled.
On the,
You don't even
on the
deserve that
style of the
sponsorship.
dab.
I'm fairly certain it's going to get revoked.
It might be. Usually my sponsors get revoked. You should come back with a different beer every week.
I've got the new sponsorship that Ryan used to have. Jewish.
I think it's called Z-Leg.
Ziegler?
Oh, is that the one?
We don't really know what it's called.
Yeah, but Star Wars made it up for 5 nominations, and I used the word underwhelming before, but this was just. Let's say it's like if I wanted to make. It's a complete remake of the original, you know. Like if I wanted to make a movie about gangsters in Boston, and just recopied The Departed, and made a movie.
Yeah.
The Departed was a copy
It
of a
was a-
Chinese movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was really sideways.
Yeah, that backfired. I was gonna like name it something else. Did not work.
I don't even know if
2
you
beers
needed to
isn't
make
great for
a
improvising.
different like connection with that. Just saying you've remade Star Wars, everybody knows.
Anyways, yeah,
They
I
did
it
remake
already.
it.
It was the first
They
one.
remade the movie.
I enjoyed it.
It wasn't. It
Personally,
was very
I liked
entertaining.
It. I liked both villains. I liked Snoke and Kylo Ren.
No,
but they
that guy was a
redid.
wiener.
No, I get it, but he was cool looking and he had a cool lightsaber. That's all
Until
you
he took
need.
off
That
his
lightsaber
mask.
was awful.
Until he
I
took
liked
off
it.
his mask.
I liked it.
That
But here's
lightsaber
the-
was terrible. Go ahead.
I don't know.
Producer hasn't
We're
seen it,
going to end up
apparently.
yelling over
Oh, yeah.
one another.
No.
This
I
could get
think
into-
I agree with a lot of your points, and I was looking into it because I thought maybe we might debate this at some point. So I was thinking, and then I was thinking, yeah, you know what, the other side does have some good points as well, for sure. And I agree with your points. As a viewer there, I was thoroughly entertained from beginning to end. As a Star Wars fan, I was thoroughly entertained. I thought that they made it accessible for a new generation to watch it, give it a bit of the backstory, and I thought it showed in the chronicle of it, it's like a history is cyclical sort of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So these sorts of things happen to the same groups of people again and again and again. A big dark force tries to create things that destroy planets.
Right.
Another smaller force tries to foil that dark force, ends up foiling them in similar ways, for sure. But I thought this one looked beautiful. I mean, there wasn't any points where I was thinking, that's too CGI, or that's too this or too that. I thought the character development was good, and I thought as an opening film for a 3-part series, I thought they did a good job of leaving it open for many good possibilities moving forward.
Let me just be the middle party
Go ahead,
before you
just
guys
keep
chime in,
quiet.
because I know you guys are going to be the complete opposite. Ronan's got some good points. It looked beautiful. It was entertaining from start to finish. It acted as almost a standalone for another trilogy to come, which is great. You know, you didn't really have to see the first ones
Well,
to
standalone.
to
It's a
get
pretty
it.
strong word.
It was, though. It was. But everything looked very much the same as it did in the previous films. I mean, yeah, okay, it was a little clearer, it was a little better done. But the TIE Fighters are still the TIE Fighters. The Death Star was the Death Star. I mean, it was all the same. It was the same, almost like
Is that a good
same
thing?
movie.
I mean,
No.
is this in like support of Ronan's
Is this
point, or-
backtracking again?
Yeah,
You're
is this,
I
backtracking
like to
again.
contradict myself.
More
I'm
180s from
backtracking. He's
Kyle.
making me 180. You guys are making me. I'm the middle party in this.
Can't make his mind.
You
I
had a
enjoyed
point.
it. I mean, I
You had a
enjoyed
point.
it
Because you're sitting beside him.
Yeah.
I will point.
I enjoyed it, but I thought
Turn
it could-
around.
I thought it could have had a better storyline. I thought maybe like they could have
Right.
done something
I
a
really
little
liked
different.
how they'd had like a feminist angle as well to
Well,
it.
that's
how,
cool.
You know,
I
a girl could grow up to pilot the.
It's cool.
But the girl is
The
Luke
Millennium
Skywalker.
But she
Fucker.
comes from the same thing. She's the
She's
same.
the same girl. It's
Technically, the
planet.
same person as in the new
It's
in
the
New
same
Hope.
movie.
Comes from a desolate planet. Has a drone.
But that's the point.
Is it?
Yeah.
Why?
But she doesn't have a drone. She meets the drone.
Well, is that really? Nah, I don't know.
It's-
Go ahead.
No, I have nothing.
Yeah, I got a lot of ammo to refute everything that you've been saying. But for the sake of moving this cast along, we got some other things to get to. We'll dive into this and not yell at each other. Probably best to have this conversation without a couple beers in us
Later.
already. But that is our Oscar recap. So
one more
predictions?
thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
One more thing. I wanted to talk about animated feature film. 'Cause
Yeah.
there's
It's
a
like
couple
The View.
Yeah,
there was
do it
a
up. I haven't
few
seen it
really
yet.
good animated films this year. And
And
I thought this
Melissa.
is a great category. Sorry.
Okay, yeah, no.
Anomalisa, I saw that. Did you see that yet?
Yep.
Oh man,
Oh,
it
you
was
saw it?
fantastic. And I'm a huge Charlie Kaufman fan. I love
Nice.
being John Malkovich.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love
Kaufman's
adaptation,
sick, yeah.
Eternal Sunshine for the Spotless Mind. And I
Dope.
recently listened to his. He had a guest appearance on Mark Maron's
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah, right.
WTF.
Yeah.
And everything about him made me like him even more. But Anomalisa, super sad.
Did you see the
Borderline
Did you see the
depressing.
making of though?
No, I didn't. I
The
bet
work
it's-
that was put into
oh,
each
I
one of
can't
their
even
faces.
imagine. It was more human than human. Like humans
They
couldn't
created-
have acted that more humanly.
They created
than the
miniature
puppets did.
humans.
Really?
Like they had different faces, and they would
Yeah.
put them on different figures.
Yeah, they had like
like
150
stop
like
motion.
lower mandible areas, and then like 200 foreheads for
That's wild.
I
different
haven't even heard of
emotions.
this.
No,
before,
neither had
yeah,
I.
no.
Like I didn't.
And
I looked at the category, but I didn't see it.
perhaps it's up there with Team America for best puppet sex of all time. It's right up there.
I don't know. Team America's hard to beat.
Yeah,
it
Team
is
America,
up-
yeah,
it's
it's-
very
yeah.
hard. I'm saying
Yeah.
it's up there in
It's
that
in
general
that-
area.
It's in the
Do
stratosphere.
you think it will win though?
But I mean, when you think of that, Inside Out was unbelievable.
I heard, yeah, there was a huge buzz
It's the
around
new
that one.
Pixar.
Did you
It's-
watch that?
No.
I think that
You
one's
watched
going to
that?
take
I
the
didn't see
cake.
that.
Yeah,
Isn't that the
it's-
one where they're inside the brain?
Yeah,
You watched that?
yeah.
I watched
There's
part of it.
there's like 5
Oh,
characters
I
inside
watched it. I
a
didn't
young
finish it.
girl's brain.
Yeah. It started off amazing, but
Yeah,
Cool.
Right
but
on.
yeah,
So,
that's
that's one.
that's
That
gonna be
one's
a
gonna
really
watch.
good category
That one's
for
going to
sure.
take the cake.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see like how all that, I guess, the controversy plays out. I guess especially with Chris Rock being host and like having a lot of black actors and like directors like Spike Lee's boycotting. I think somebody else in the academies is actually condemned. I think her last name was Hayes. I forget what role she has, but she's prominent in the academy and actually condemned the lack of black nomination. So it'll be interesting to see how he manages that. You know, like in his role, because I think like a lot of people, Eddie Murphy's 1988 Oscar nomination for Best Picture made the rounds on the internet this week. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. A lot of movies.
Are we going back to Star Wars?
We could fight about that all day, but we'll move on with the cast.
All right.
Yeah, we'll do it up.